It's 2018, y'all. Don't you know smoking's bad for you? You need to go check out my buddies down there at Raging Vapors. They're located in Loganville and as well as in Grayson. They have a very clean establishment, and trust me, if I'm going to put some of that stuff to my lungs, I think that's the way to go, right? It's 2018. Aren't we smarter? Smoking is not cool anymore, y'all. Raging Vapors is a very nice place. They mix up their own vapes. They are regulated by the government. The place is super clean. Raging Vapors is the place to go. Do it the right way and see the right people. And I believe Raging Vapors are the right people.
Hey everyone, this is Redneck Step. Have you heard about Unique Funding? They're in the business to help people get out of those high-interest title ponds. It's sad how many people have been put in this position. I myself have fallen victim to this. If you currently have a title pond and you're not happy with your interest rate, then Unique is who you need. They are paying off high interest rate loans and rewriting theirs at a much lower interest rate. Everyone hates to see someone struggle financially, and losing your car or continue to pay out high interest rate. Unique Funding would like to help coach people financially and help them do better with their money. Once they pay off your loan and are able to rewrite it at a much lower interest rate, your loan will be paid off faster while keeping your payments the same. The staff would like to work with people and listen to their needs. Custom deals can be made to fit almost anyone's pay schedule. Be more than just unique and go see Unique Funding. Let them help you help yourself.
And breathe, just breathe. Oh, breathe, just breathe.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How is everyone doing today? This beautiful, what day is it?
So hot.
Thursday.
It's not. It's not beautiful anymore. It's just hot.
It's just too hot. My son even said, "When's it gonna get colder, mommy?"
because it's supposed. It's like
It's supposed to.
oh,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
What is going on?
Like I'm ready to eat more.
I'm
'Cause,
ready
like
for
right now, you can't
Yeah,
eat a whole lot.
I know. I'm still in dresses.
Yeah,
All right.
hoodies and
We need hoodie weather.
oh,
It's time. Okay. So excited for the show today. We have our friend Ricky Davis. He's going to call in. He is the owner of UE Entertainment, and you can check him out at ueentertainment.net. if
he's
you're
so
interested.
fabulous.
He is so supportive
He is
and
such a
amazing.
supportive human.
Yes. So we're very excited to hang out with him and talk to him. Also, we're going to be talking to Larissa Barthen, who is a CARES. She works for the Georgia Council of Substance Abuse, and she's going to give us some of her wisdom. And she's an amazing human being. So I'm very excited to speak with her too. So we've got some things in the news that we want to talk about today. Actually, some very sad news. And I'll start and I'll just let Christina go because she knows a little bit more about this. But a church leader, a California church leader, his name was Jared Wilson. He's an author and a mental health advocate. He actually died by suicide on Monday evening, September 9th, at the age of 30.
I just had to be silent for a second
Mhm.
because it overwhelmed me when I saw it come across my Facebook, and then I looked at it more, and I was just looked into it more, and I thought, how can that be?
Right.
Immediately, like how can that be? And as I was reading more, kind of like he was really battling depression and anxiety,
Mhm.
to the nth degree, to a degree that we can't comprehend, and
Right.
trying to heal himself through speaking out against mental health and being that strong advocate. You
Mhm.
guys, it's a heavy burden to bear.
Absolutely.
You're carrying around your own, deep, dark secrets, and then you're trying to help others heal from theirs.
Mhm.
And he was an incredible leader for so many, and it really made me kind of sit and think about what I'm doing, about what I'm trying to undertake, and how I think what happens is people try to go at it alone. Like I've got
Right.
this, I can do this,
Yeah.
and I've lived my whole life that way. Like I can do it all by myself, and it has led to nothing but death and destruction.
Right. Because you
You
can't.
can't.
You can't. It's absolutely
Yeah.
impossible. We weren't born here. We didn't come here to be alone.
Nope.
I believe strongly that we're actually, we're all one.
We are.
We really are one, and one affects the whole.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
really does.
I mean-
Good or bad, positive or negative, one affects the whole, so,
Right.
you
And
know.
and that, for him, I think, and that's, I mean, I literally cried over this, you guys, like in tears. And then getting up the next day and kind of reading people's comments.
Right.
There is a very serious deprivation of humanity
Yes.
happening in our society. I can't imagine, I would see comments like, what a hypocrite with like the laughing face. And I thought, what? I mean, it floored me. Like, why would you say that? Why would
Right.
you put that out there that way? That's someone's father, someone's husband, a
Exactly.
community's pastor, someone that was a very strong advocate. And he said something so poignant. I think it's here in the article that
Mhm.
it's really real and gut wrenching. But one of the last things that he shared on social was kind of trying to find it.
I think
Is it this page? Well, it's to the
me
effect that
see it, the
sometimes,
article.
Jesus can't
Right.
save you from depression or save you from suicide. He's always there. I mean, I
There it
think he
is.
said something he's a comforter.
Yeah, it says loving Jesus doesn't always cure suicidal thoughts. Loving Jesus doesn't always cure depression. Loving Jesus doesn't always cure PTSD. Loving Jesus doesn't always cure anxiety. That doesn't mean Jesus doesn't offer us companionship and comfort. He always does that.
You guys, that is a very raw, real, emotional, powerful set of statements. That's how he was feeling. Whether what your opinions on that are doesn't,
Right.
you're welcome to have them,
Mhm.
but it's that poignant moment where he loves his God and he trusts his God, but that demon, and that's what it is. It is a monster
Right.
that lives inside, and it grows. It feeds off of your fears and your
Mhm.
insecurities, and it overtakes you, and that is the reality. I guess kind of moving on, the very next day or yesterday, I I came across this a mental health counselor that worked at Cornell for 15 years, jumped out of a building
Mhm.
yesterday. I mean, and this was students, a whole campus. That was their confidant. That was, they he gosh, you guys, that
Wow.
is huge.
That is. It says Dr. Greg Ells. Is that, am I saying that right?
I think so.
Okay. The former head of Cornell University's Counseling and Psychological Services Department. He was speaking at a TED Talk in 2015. That's the picture that they have here. But this is
Mhm.
obviously an affluent person, who dedicated his life
Super
to. And
educated.
I love this. This is beautiful. Like the wounded healer,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
And trying to
Absolutely.
give and trying to um, give what you don't have and what you need so desperately. But we always have to come back and remember that we cannot pour from an empty cup and that we have to take care of ourselves. That is number one.
It has to be.
It has
It
to be
has to be.
before anything. And I know, like, even as parents, as spouses, we want to put other people in front of our own happiness, but and it's not happiness; it's just our self care. Our self care has to be paramount. It has to be number one.
Checking in with yourself, like I,
Absolutely.
I say this, I've really, since God has put this heavy this heavy mission
Yeah.
in my life, I'm very sleepless, constantly like anxiety ridden. We talked about this earlier, and it's so big, and I'm really trying to train my brain, like, okay,
Right.
Christina, calm down, you got to check out,
Mhm.
I'm starting to leave my phone on because I'm getting messages from people and I want to help them,
Right.
but I have to make sure that I am taking care of me. And I had that moment last night. Like I was just in the fetal position, just crying like an absolute baby for
Right.
so many, for my daughter, for myself, for
Mhm.
you, for just it's that empath heart.
Yeah,
And it is
absolutely. And it'll, yes, when you can feel everything,
yes.
it's not always fun,
No.
and to learning how to separate
Yoga breath.
yourself, yes, my own
Yeah.
feelings from the world's feelings, which
Yes.
that is that it's a task, and it's taken me a long time to even. Sometimes I'll feel something out of the blue, and I'm like, wait.
What's the
I was just
matter?
at the grocery store. I think I picked something up in aisle 3, but I didn't mean to.
I think I picked something up in aisle 3. Yes, that's
I
what it
didn't order
is.
this.
Yeah, it is. But,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm just really like pushing out into the universe. we need more. We need more of it. We just need so much more,
Yeah.
so that the ones that feel this way aren't carrying such a heavy load.
Exactly. And we have like a great comment over here, Brady777 Smith. Oh, I'm sorry if I. Sorry. I just, okay.
Calling them out.
Sorry. It says most people are scared to speak out about their depression or suicide because people will not only think they are crazy, but will look at them differently. And that is so true. We're all so
true, Brady.
terrified to get help. And I have a personal story about this. When I was, it was just the summer of hell, we'll call it, you know what I mean? Like nothing. And it was a beautiful beginning of a spiritual awakening. I did not see it like that at the time, but that's what it became. But I was just in this dark, dark place, so much pain, just so much agony. I mean, dark night of the soul, whole, oh my God. Anyway, I was feeling really low and didn't want to do anything. I had these two beautiful children, I wanted to be here. So I called a line, a suicide hotline. And I'm not knocking them at all. They were wonderful. They were compassionate. And they said, look, you've got to go to the emergency room. The words that you're saying to us are very concerning and we need you to go get help for yourself. And so I did that. The emergency room was not as kind and compassionate
Nope.
at all. Ended up, calling DFACS. Just all kinds of things happened, like kind of snowballed out of this one situation. I felt like I was doing the right thing and trying to get help, but they didn't really see it that way. And I do appreciate they had care and concern for my children, which I absolutely appreciate. They were with their grandparents, so they were safe, and nothing really came out of that. But I just remember feeling about this big and still quite suicidal, actually.
Even more so.
Yeah,
even more so.
yeah.
You've got to, under a lot of cases with my daughter, there was always a police, like a guard outside, and
Oh.
she's like total destruction in the room or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
And it's cold, it's
Yeah.
desolate, it's the last place you want to be
Yeah.
when you're feeling suicidal. Like the
It really
emergency
was.
room.
And then they put me and another man in a room together. Just with a police officer sitting there 24/7, and it was crazy. The crazy thing is like I had this and I always have this, just like a somebody,
Mhm.
somebody there. The man that I was there with, we both ended up they sent us to Georgia Regional, which is not that was a terrible story, but we both had these stories and we kind of connected, and he ended up being kind of like my like security guard when we went because they both sent us, to the next place,
Suicide
which was not
security.
exactly, he kind of ended up being my my helper, and the next place that we both had to go to, which was Georgia Regional.
Well, that's nice.
It really wasn't,
Have that
God
comfort.
works
Yeah.
for you always, and the saddest thing is when I was in the hospital for a suicide attempt, I was married and my ex, he did not come visit me. Nobody came to visit me. My mom did, but I didn't get like a call. Like it was sad. And I look back on that now to see how that's not other people. I had pushed with my behaviors and my actions and my reactions. I had pushed people so far away from me. I couldn't love myself. Therefore, I could not accept any kind of love or affection or kindness or compassion from anyone else except a total stranger.
And sometimes there's so much truth in that,
Yeah.
having someone that's walking through what you're walking through, the lived experience piece
Right.
that you feel connected. I mean, it's suicide, suicidal thoughts that are bringing the connection, but that there is so much power in that lived experience piece,
Absolutely.
and being able to communicate with each other in that way. But, I'll just briefly touch on this, but the ER is not the place for mental health patients. It's not welcoming. It's not warm, and then that's
Mhm.
what they need. And those emergency rooms need to be for medical emergencies.
Right.
People with gunshot wounds, heart attacks, whatever.
Right.
Not for mental health patients. It's
Right.
it's not conducive.
It was, and I didn't want to go to the emergency room. I was told by the phone number the 1-800 number that I called that I had like two choices. They could send the police to my house, or I could call them from the hospital in an hour. So those are my options that they gave me.
How is that helpful?
It really wasn't, but And all this snowballed into help. You know what I mean? Like that
Right.
first,
Right.
that wasn't helpful. It wasn't a great situation. And
But the steps that you have to take
right,
to get the
to
help that
get
you
help
need and
is
deserve
ridiculous.
could be the
Mhm.
trigger. It's too late.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that there needs to be a certified peer specialist, suicide, with experience in suicide ideation or suicide attempt or something like that, in every hospital, plus a recovery advocate in every emergency room. We were talking to our friend Daniel
I
Ritchie.
agree.
He's a motivational speaker, but I think that's something that he does. He works with the emergency room where addicts come, because they're dying. It is an emergency,
It is.
but it's separate. The
It is.
doctor's not going to help you. I'm sorry, because they don't have the lived experience. I'm not saying that they can't help you. I'm saying that I needed compassion. I needed empathy. I needed somebody to say, I've been there, I've gotten out of it, and you can too.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, and you get these evaluations. People come in here to do your evaluation, right? And
Right.
it's such a joke. The last time my daughter had one, she was, you guys, she was like trying to cross traffic off of Hugh Howell and like over, I guess, near where the bluffs are, if y'all are
Right.
familiar with that. And
Yes.
she was acting like a mad person.
Mhm.
And when they had a social worker, the police came out, the social worker was like, she needs to be checked out. And so she goes to the hospital, and then the evaluator, we'll just say that because I don't know what to call this person, was like, well, she's fine, you can come get her. Y'all, she was completely off her rocker. Like she was
Mhm.
going to kill herself, other people, like whatever.
Right. And they just don't have the capacity to
No,
help.
they
They're
don't. And
not.
that's not,
Yeah.
that's at a government level. That's at a
Mhm.
people that are making the decisions.
And we need to
level.
affect some more change in things that really help. Oh, that must be our friend
Must
Ricky.
be our friend.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
This is
Ricky.
Ricky.
how you ladies doing?
We are fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
That is wonderful.
I haven't met you personally yet, but I'm really
Well, I
excited
haven't
to.
either.
But I'm really excited to meet you.
Hey, I haven't either, so I'm definitely excited myself. Are you coming to the event?
I plan on it.
I
Yes.
definitely am.
Oh.
Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Looking so forward to it.
Yay. We are too. Absolutely. So tell us about the event. So where's the venue? Where is it?
The venue will be at the Wellington Event Hall, 950 Indian Trail Road, Lilburn, Georgia, 30044.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And it starts at, you said doors open at
8 p.m.
8 p.m. And how long do you
yep.
think how long is this going to last?
Till 1 o'clock.
It's an
Look
all-nighter.
at that. Woohoo.
I'm going to have to take a
Until 1
nap.
o'clock.
I don't stay out that late. I'm, gonna
I'm
take a nap.
excited. I have not been so excited about something in a long time, but I'm excited to dance.
It's a party.
So what's like dress code? How do you dress? Just like
Uh,
clubbing?
Come any way you like.
Clubbing.
Come any way
Clubbing.
you like.
I don't think I have any more
I
clubbing
don't
clothes.
think I do either. But I think I
I
can
used to
find
have some.
an excuse to go shopping.
Anything
Like
that's
I need another
comfortable to
one.
I know.
you, because there will definitely be some dancing and party going on. We are excited to have DJ Apache.
Awesome.
He's well known in the Gwinnett area, the
Uh-huh.
Gwinnett County area. And I have been to one of his events, and this guy is pretty amazing. And,
Fantastic.
Lauren will also be performing live some of her new hits. I guess a lot of our followers, and I hope some of your followers have been seeing some of the videos, but she has an amazing voice. And I am so, I had been seeing her around those places where we go that we should not mix. And I never knew she was so talented.
Wow.
Love
And
that.
after I planned the dance,
Uh-huh.
she posted one of her videos, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was blown away by her voice and her talent. And within 5 minutes, we were on the phone chatting with each other about her performing at this event. And I am so excited.
How excited. I'm very excited too. I'm excited
Yes.
for you. This is really exciting. So would you tell us like a little bit about you? Do you mind doing that?
Well, a little bit about me.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Birmingham. I'm an Alabama kind of guy,
Uh-huh.
but I've been in Atlanta. I came here after I got out of the military at Fort Benning. I had a sister that lived here, and I have been in Atlanta since 1988.
Look at
Yep,
you.
sure have, and love Atlanta. Love Atlanta.
And
You
you have
know,
a
went
very
through.
exciting job, I think.
I do. I do. Well, it's more of it's a job, but it's more of a hobby also. I
Right.
am an entrepreneur. I own another business that I do also, and it's kind of a weird story how I got into the entertainment business,
Yeah.
and but I just love it. Yes, it fits me to a T.
I think so.
It's your
Yes.
passion. It's always,
Yes, it's my
I'm
That's
always
the
encouraging
key.
people, like, whatever it is that you're passionate about, go out there and do that.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't make you
Yes,
money.
it's
It
well,
does.
I've always loved music.
Uh-huh.
Always been
Me
centered
too.
around music.
Yes.
And I had a friend that I've known for 18 or so years who traveled with musicians. He was a drum tech. He did a lot of traveling with Justin Bieber's tour for years. He would do
Wow.
the cruises, the festival cruises, rock and roll cruises and stuff like that. And he would always come home and tell me about it.
How
He would
fun.
always come share about it. And I would always say, man, if I ever had time, I would love to do something like that for 17 years, mind you. And the time came in my life where I called my friend and well, we were talking and he was telling me about an event and I was like, I am ready. What do I need to do?
How
And
nice.
from there, he hooked me up with a company. And my first concert here in Atlanta was Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
And
Oh,
man, I have
jealous.
just loved it since, and
I am
and
jealous.
have grown into it and just love it, And
Yeah.
so
Tell
yeah,
Justin I said
yeah,
hi.
it's
Sorry.
but
Oh.
yeah, love Atlanta, love the music scene, and I
Yes.
guess the dance thing and bringing people together like myself.
Right.
Is been a passion. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I went to Founders Day up in Akron, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
several years ago. And when you go to Founders Day, they have like these shuttles that will kind of take you and drop you off. It'll take you to several different meetings that sponsors Founders Day. You just get off the shuttle, go to this house, get off another shuttle, go to that clubhouse. And I went to this place, and it was kind of designed for people like us to go to dance,
That's awesome.
to go hang out.
Yes.
They had meetings there, and I fell in love with that idea then.
Right.
And it was something that I said to myself, I would love to bring something like this to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a passion for a while. I just never moved forward with it until
Right.
now.
Well,
So
now's must be the time then.
it must be the
It
time.
must
Really
be.
happy about it. It must be the time.
That's fantastic. So I was looking up Founders Day, and the next one is June 12th, 13th, and 14th. Are you going to go to that one? And it's
No, I won't go
yeah.
this year
Okay.
because I'll be touring
Right.
festival.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fantastic.
So it's usually Hangout Festival in Florida,
Uh-huh.
Bonnaroo, and then Electric Forest during that
Oh,
time. So
Wow.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You are living my life.
I know.
I was supposed to do the things you're doing. That's not fair.
Christina, I need you, so stop.
Right. Never mind. Okay.
So,
Sit back
a lot
down.
of hard work, but enjoyable work, enjoyable work. So,
Right, right.
I am truly grateful for that. But what I do want to say also, if I can,
Yes.
about the dance,
Yes, please.
let everybody know, hold on to your tickets. There will be door prizes. And what we're doing, a lot of the door prizes are coming from people inside of the rooms that have businesses.
Wow,
That's
fantastic.
wonderful.
So Yes, so that's where all our door prizes will be coming from. And I will have a drawing for everybody that's self-employed inside of the rooms. Bring your business cards. We will have a drawing also and give away some cash money by pulling business cards. You know, I would really like to have some kind of a network. After I
Right.
can, you know, my website is new.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of this, I'm having a lot of ideas, but I would love to bring together people, entrepreneurs that are in the program and have some kind of a network that we can find each other
Yes, I
with
love
people that
that.
are in the program,
I
regardless
love
of what
that.
It's
program that
great.
you're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Networking.
Yeah,
eventually,
it'd be like the
that's a
Masons.
step I want to. Yeah, that's a step I want to go
Yeah, I love
towards
that.
also.
That's fantastic. I think,
Hmm.
we should all support each other, especially with,
Of
what we're
course.
doing with our lives inside of recovery,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
who better to support you than, your brothers and sisters in recovery. So I think that's
Right.
beautiful. That's a great idea.
Lived experience.
Let
Hmm.
me know. I would love to support that any way
Oh,
I
most
can.
definitely, most
Yes.
definitely. Well, you know, I've been around this thing for a while, you know,
Yeah.
and I think I was saying when I posted, listening to you and, you know, about that self-hatred thing. That's one of the reasons I stayed around in the program.
Right.
I'm 29 years sober, one day at a time, clean and sober, one day at a time. And,
Congratulations.
Yes,
you know, you're
absolutely.
welcome. You're welcome. One of the things that allowed me to stay when I got here was a degree of self-hatred that I had for myself.
Right.
And people in the room gave me that little spark of hope.
Yes.
And that's what it took. You know, I had a friend that introduced me to the program, and I took a suggestion that she gave me early on. I'm talking like 15 days or less in the program. I took a suggestion she gave me, and she said to me, she said, "Ricky, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you." And that's all it took, ladies. I mean, it had been so long
Right.
that anyone had been proud of anything I did, especially me.
Right.
It got to that point. I'm staying sober just so I can hear her tell me she's proud of me.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed at that time, you
Mhm.
know, that love that she gave me early on. So,
And two, one of the beautiful things about, the 12-step meetings and everything is that you get to pass that on too. Once you become proud of yourself, you get to tell the next person, hey, I'm proud of you,
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
And I think that that's my favorite thing because I got so much from the rooms that I was missing, and I still do, and I love to
Hmm.
pass that on. I love to hug people and just smile at
Me
people who
too.
come in, and anywhere
Do
really.
that with
I don't just do
strangers.
that. Yeah,
Well, and
I
people
think,
looking at me
yeah,
all the time like, "What is wrong with you?
you just smile at me.
Why are you smiling at me?" Or
I
like
do, and I wave at
compliments.
people
I'm
all the
always like, "I
time.
love your hair," or "Your dress looks so," like
Yes,
it's those simple acts of kindness that just go so
right.
far.
They really do.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Most definitely. And it's a lot of love around the room, let me tell you.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
definitely get my share and I give my share, you know, and that's what keeps us coming back, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
And one of my favorite quotes is, some people don't get what they want because they don't give what they want. And
Hmm.
I always
Hmm.
try to remember that.
Absolutely.
Like if I'm not
Absolutely.
in a space that's like a receiving space, like, well, what am I giving? If I'm not
Right.
giving
Right. You
anything,
check yourself. Check
exactly.
yourself.
Always, it always starts with me.
Definitely.
Well, I am so
So
excited
true.
about your event. I didn't realize it was so like large scale like that.
Yeah.
That's
So
like super
how are
exciting.
the ticket sales going?
Ticket sales are going pretty good. Ticket sales are
Fantastic.
going pretty good. Yeah, I think a lot of people will, you know how we are sometimes, and
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people will pay at the door.
Right.
I think ticket sales will boost up this next week, and you know,
Yeah, we
a
can't
lot of my
commit.
Right.
I'll
yeah,
see you
yeah.
September 19th with my tickets.
But I'm
Yeah.
hoping it's going to be a blast. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
And regardless of what happens, the people that are there are going to be the people that are important.
Right.
So regardless of what, we that are there are going to be the ones that have the ball, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited too because like I say, I was fumbling around about what I was going to do as far as decorating. And, you know, I kind of had this idea. I was like, what would be cool was on centerpieces on the tables is, well, I ended up hiring a young lady's company that's in the rooms, you know, and I was suggesting to her, I said, yeah, I was thinking maybe getting some jelly jars, those nice little jelly jars, and putting a flower in those. And, you know, the Chapter 11 candlelight meeting have those pretty little candles that they have there when they turn the lights off. She said, Ricky, this is an entertainment venue. We're not going to have jelly jars on the table.
Oh,
So
shot
I
your
am
ideas right
definitely-
down.
Yeah.
I'm a
So
big fan
I
of
am
jelly
excited
jars.
to see what she's going to have. So I'm excited to see all of that good stuff also.
Well, that is so exciting. So give us do you want to tell us the website where we can get the tickets?
Yes, it is ueentertainment.net.
Beautiful. I'm going to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just writing it in our
Okay.
comment section here so people can find it. Also, so the tickets are $10. Doors open
Yes.
at 8 p.m. It's in
8
Lilburn. Give us
p.m.
the address one more time.
Yes, ma'am. It is the Wellington Event Hall, 950 Indian Trail Road, Lilburn, Georgia, 30044. 47. I'm sorry. I'm giving you my zip code.
Uh-oh.
I
Show
do
up
that
at your
now.
house.
Dang it, I hit enter and it wasn't done. Well,
And for everybody to know that this
Hope y'all can figure
will
that
be
out.
a drug and alcohol free environment. This will be
Right.
a clean and sober environment completely. Yes.
that is beautiful. I just love this
Mhm.
because, you know, I mean, I don't want to not have fun. I think that is such a common fear in recovery is that
mhm.
people don't want to not have fun anymore. You know,
Yes.
they're used to a way of having fun and they don't know how it's going to happen. So I think it's absolutely amazing what you're doing, you know, because I love to dance and I love music.
Yes.
Yes. So, and I
And
don't
we
know
do.
anybody else, you know, who doesn't.
Right? I'm not that.
Maybe
I'm not a great
dancing.
dancer like y'all.
I'm not a
Good
good
therapy.
dancer. I
But
just like to
I
do it.
love music.
Yes.
And it's so affordable. It's like $10.
Yeah, $10.
$10.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is really
And door
awesome.
prizes. We'll definitely be giving away cash also. For
Oh,
door
yeah.
prizes. And yeah, everybody loves some free cash.
Everybody loves
So
so
hold on to those ticket stubs.
yeah,
And
make
also,
some money.
We'll be having food.
Oh
we will
yeah.
we will be serving food.
That's important. If
yes,
you don't
we
have
will be
food,
serving
people will
food.
not come. You got to feed the
And-
folks.
And free coffee. All the coffee you would like free.
All
Gotta have the
right.
free coffee for us, girl. Let me tell you.
Heck yeah. You can get some strongly worded letters if you didn't. A
Yes.
lot of complaints.
I need coffee right now.
So hopefully we can have some jazzy creamers to spruce it up a little
Look
bit.
at
know?
you. Yeah. Well, this sounds like a
Oh,
super exciting event. I'm very excited to attend. I
me
cannot
too.
wait. And so it's September 20th, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m.
$10.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love it. I love it.
Yep.
All right.
It is. And I like to say thank you guys for having me. I really
You're
appreciate
so
it.
welcome.
Thank you for announcing it on your show and all your support. I
Yes.
am just humbled.
Oh, well,
thank
anything
you
we can do
for doing this and
Yes.
coordinating something so unique.
Absolutely. I think what you're doing is
Yeah.
fabulous.
We
Cool,
appreciate
cool.
you.
Well,
Yes.
okay. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And
And
we look forward to seeing you on the 20th. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And hello to all your listeners.
Hello, our listeners.
I mean, bye-bye to all your
Oh.
listeners.
It's over now. It's over now.
Bye-bye to all of your listeners.
All right, Ricky. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ricky.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
y'all.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I just love the
Absolutely.
people that we meet.
I know.
I'm always like, I just, you don't even, I've not met any of these people, but you
No,
get
never
that
met 'em.
connection, and
Right.
you're like, look what you're doing out
Like
there.
that soul connection. Like we're
Yeah.
all a part of the same.
Yes.
We're all trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Help.
And you got to build those relationships, farther. Like I
Right.
love that we're talking to people that aren't in the same state, not in the same community, because you
Mhm.
just never know. Like
Exactly.
I might need to call on him for something,
Absolutely.
or like last week, I had people reaching out to me, like talking about how great. I am so terrible with names, y'all. So terrible. What is her name?
Allie? Allie
Allie.
Rouge?
Yes, they loved
Yes.
her.
Yes, she's
They loved her.
amazing. She was so, I don't know, accessible. Or
Yeah,
it felt like
yes.
she was just like ready to
there.
go, ready to help, ready
Mhm.
to. Yes, I really, really enjoyed her so
And that's
much.
how she was
Yes.
kind of talking about, like, my phone is always on, and then I do
Yes.
take time for my self care. So, and I was like, girl, I get you. Like, I get it.
Yes.
I want
so
to be
important.
open and accessible with boundaries,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you do have to have that self care and
Boundaries are
boundaries.
very
Everybody
important.
needs to have boundaries,
Mhm.
but just trying to be more open and like, here I am. What do you,
Absolutely.
you don't know me. I don't know you, but we are both human beings.
Yeah. How
And
can we help each
what
other?
can we
You
do
know,
to help you?
because I think we don't even realize how much we benefit.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From doing something for someone else. I mean, it's a give and take,
is.
and you definitely receive when you give,
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes I love to do like little random acts of kindness. And I did read, you can do random acts of kindness, just you're not allowed to talk about what they are. So,
right,
because that's kind of like
Right.
living from the ego. So,
Listen to what I did for
right.
such and such. Yeah.
We're all a work in progress.
Well,
It's
that's
fine.
work.
Yeah.
That's different. That's different.
But yeah, that's just one of my favorite things to do, and it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be like some big, grand gesture either. I get a
Well, I
lot of
can't
satisfaction.
do a whole lot of big grand gestures. It has to be on a very small level.
Yeah,
But-
but that passes on,
Yeah,
like
it
you
does.
smile at a stranger and that stranger smiles at somebody else. And like,
Mhm.
somebody goes home and I don't know, doesn't.
It could have been the difference with
Yeah.
someone in that depressive state or suicidal
Yeah,
moment.
like today was a good day.
Yes, and someone reaching out and just commenting or complimenting you on
Right.
something, it could change everything. And listen, I want y'all to know I have not always been this way. I was probably the most cynical, the most negative human being that's
Mhm.
ever walked the face of the earth. And
I
I
can't
would
even
hear
imagine that, but
what I was. And for people, I mean, I always had that heart, but I
Yeah.
just didn't want to. I had been beaten down, and
Mhm.
all of my own negative self talk
Right.
and all my bad decisions. Just sort of that's who I became. But
Yep.
that's not who God ever intended me to be, and I
Mhm.
always knew that. But I would hear people like us talk, and I would be like, seriously, like you're making my head hurt.
Throw up in
Stop.
my mouth.
I'm about to vomit. But look around, folks. Like
Right.
our society, we need each other so much.
So much. So much. And I just think of my kids, I can tell they're good deeds.
Yes.
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 So my daughter Annabelle, she has just the biggest heart. And so we're at like Dave and Buster's or something, or at the movie theater. And she is amazing at those claw games.
Who is amazing at those games?
No, she's
I thought
really,
that was
really
just
good.
like a scam
It's a
altogether.
total scam, but she has beat the system. I really encourage this in my children. So she's just really, really good. And like me and her brother are so impressed. Anyway, so she goes and she won 13 toys out of the, she totally did. She totally did.
Okay.
And,
That's crazy.
that's a lot, and I was like, what are you going to do with all of them? She says, I'm going to give them to the other kids who haven't won anything. And I could cry.
Oh, my sweet baby.
I know,
Ew.
she's an angel. So,
Oh.
and she did. She just went up to everybody and she was like, here you go. Here you go. And the kids would just look at her like, really? It was so sweet.
And we have so many I learned from my children. Well,
Yes,
I learned
children are
more
the-
important, challenging lessons
Yes.
now. But when they were younger, just that, and I was watching, I saw, I think it was on Facebook, one of those videos. They always get me, like the Compassion
Yes.
Project. I follow. Do you follow them?
Yes.
Did you see
love.
the one with the two little boys that they
Yeah. So the
they
one
were?
was,
I think it was like a play date. They were having a play date, and they saw each other like down the sidewalk. One was on the like the opposite end of the sidewalk, and they
Yes.
just saw each other, and it was the like sheer excitement of just like, there's my friend, and then they
Uh-huh.
just they like collide into each other and like hugging each other, and then
Oh,
they're
sweet.
like that electric energy. Like, why don't we have that for each
Right.
other as we just that childlike energy?
Right.
And
Of
I know,
acceptance, love.
yes, and I
And
know
it's
that people think I'm nuts, but like that's who I am.
oh,
That's how I
yes.
operate.
A
I'm like,
child at heart, always, always. It's
yes,
gonna be me
yes,
forever. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I do crazy. My kids, they think I'm crazy.
None.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am,
And
but
good, but I'll do things like, I don't know, do interpretive dancing and stuff to like, and we make up songs all the
I
time.
can't wait to see this interpretive dancing.
I will only show you.
Okay, not happening on the show, you guys.
Maybe.
It could.
But I don't drink anymore, so no. No. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so yeah, I just learned so much from them. They're amazing. They're
are.
amazing.
You like your kids, You are
Yeah.
like your kids.
Exactly. And it just goes to show that these are things that we learn. We learn hate,
Absolutely. You
We
are not
learn
born.
that.
You are not born that
No.
way.
No, it's impossible. I've always heard that like birth is a sleep and a forgetting.
Mhm.
When we go through like birth, we sleep and we forget everything that we've ever known because I think we come directly from source energy,
Right. Right.
and getting out there. But that's what I believe, when we're kids. And that's why, babies are kind of amazing. They know exactly
are.
what to do to get exactly what they need.
They are. Sure do.
They really do.
All the attention and the love and
Yeah.
and it's now more than ever.
Yeah.
Every day that I wake up, I feel it more and more.
Yeah.
It just kind of grows inside me and I can't wait for the next person to pass it on to.
Yes.
It kind of
absolutely.
sucks because I work remotely from my home, which I mean I have to. It's funny when he said I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, yeah, me too. I haven't really figured it out yet, but like I
Yeah.
have to work from home because of my situation with my child. But so I sometimes lose that I need to get out more and so
Mhm.
when I'm in the grocery store or
Yeah.
whatever, I'm just like walking around with a big cheesy smile on my face.
I
you
do
know.
too.
And
I'm in my own world
yeah,
99%.
me too. Me too.
Yeah, me too.
That's all we say.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Did you
But-
bring your cards?
I didn't because I was in a very big hurry.
Oh man,
know,
Y'all,
I
was
know,
really
I know.
excited for her.
But I need more than 16 minutes.
Oh,
I need way more than that. We're going to do a whole show. I'm going to read your cards. I'm going to read your palm too.
it's probably going to take like 5 hours.
to get through it all.
Yeah,
No.
there's a lot. There's a lot. I hope it's good stuff.
It's definitely
I
going to
can't
be
wait.
good. Absolutely.
I need
I
that
have this thing I don't
positive
get bad
energy.
news. Nothing's bad anyway. The worst situations in my life have turned into the biggest blessings.
Truth.
And some of
That's
my
so much truth.
yes. So I don't think anything's all bad. But then on the other hand, nothing's all good. There's always a
No.
little lesson in there. That little pinch.
That
Just a
keeps
little
you.
dot.
It keeps you humble. Keeps
It
you even.
does.
Brings the balance to your
'Cause we have
life.
so much to learn in this life, and it's not gonna, it's not gonna all come,
No, I mean that
in one.
it's funny. I'm not a perfectionist at all, really. When it comes to my writing, I am. That's like to me, my writing is like being naked.
Yeah.
That's my heart, my
Like
soul, my
bearing-
innards.
Yes.
And so for the longest time, I wouldn't expose myself that way. But I feel. I wish these things would stay in my ear.
Get bigger ears.
I know.
Kristen.
It's funny. Here I go, rabbit hole, because that's 10,000 tabs are open in my mind right now.
Squirrel.
I've had friends comment on the show, and they're like, "Quit playing with your earring." I'm like, "I'm not.
Yeah, I can't get this
Not what
thing
I'm
to
doing.
stay in my
I
ear.
want to make sure that I can hear." Where was I? See,
Damn it! No, I don't know either. Hold on. Let's go back.
that's terrible.
You're writing.
A writing.
Perfectionist.
But and so I think we have that perfection mentality, and I think Scotty, one of Scotty's lives I watched, he was talking about keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just not who I am. I mean, I want to have nice things. But that's not like I'm really trying to kind of seek that minimalistic type,
Right.
like live light, travel light, be the
Mhm.
light type.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Live light, travel light, be the light.
Yeah. I think it's so important to just what's really important to you?
Yeah.
What what is that? And so I've tried to stop. It's just every day better. It's a constant evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and I'm like, all right, God, what are we going to do today? And then the next day, like how, at night, I'm like, what can I do to make the next day better? How
Right.
can I be better than I was yesterday? Do I fail, you guys? Listen, I've had to write some stuff in my prayers and my gratitude journal and my talks with God that I'm like, I'm still doing the same like behaviors. Why
Right.
am I still doing that? I've got to fix it. It's just evolution.
It
Just
really is.
stop beating yourself up.
And it's
so much.
okay.
It is.
It's all okay. It's okay to, take a few steps back as long as you're still, the momentum is forward.
Yes.
You know what I
and you're
mean?
honest with yourself.
Right.
I
And a
think
lot of life is just getting ready to be ready.
Yeah.
Getting ready to
getting
be
ready
ready.
to be ready
Yeah.
for whatever he's got prepared for you next.
Exactly. And it's always going to come when you're not ready anyway.
Oh, listen, all of this that's kind of happening with us
Yeah.
and in our personal lives, I know that we're like, okay, I'm not ready.
I
Like,
don't deserve that.
what am I doing?
Right.
But you just go with it.
You do.
And
You do.
figure it
You go with
out.
the flow. And I mean, there's sometimes, like this morning for me, I was in the grips of like almost a panic attack because just, overwhelmed and I want so much. I want to do so much. I'm
Do
ready
all the
to
things.
do all the things. But at the same time, I'm only one person, and I'm a single mom. I've got 2 beautiful kids that I've got to be there for,
Mhm.
and I'm on that computer, ideas and doing things all day long and then out and about and meeting people and, and then I have to make sure that my kids are not neglected or not,
That they eat.
that they eat, that
They
they
gotta
sleep.
eat.
They have to go to bed. I like them to go to bed at 8, just because I know that
Yeah.
sleep is so important to me. You don't want to catch me on a day where I haven't slept. It's a lot of tears.
That's why I can't
It's a
remember
lot of
anything that I'm trying to
tears.
say because I haven't slept properly.
It's a lot of tears and random giggling. So it's good. It fluctuates. That might be any day, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
especially
me.
bad when I don't
That's just
sleep.
who you are.
It really is.
who you
So,
are.
I go from woo live on
Oh,
Facebook.
we're live
Well, let
on
me just see
Facebook
us.
now. It sounds like you're
Look at-
fighting.
I just want to give our props to DJ Scotty because he's so
Yes,
amazing.
he is so
Y'all,
amazing.
takes such good care of us.
He does.
All right. So, we've got 10 minutes. So we're going to, I kind of wanted to go back to this a little bit. I don't want to get too deep. Maybe we should wait until after the caller because, this article that we were talking about with the pastor, it's got me. And, there's a lot that we need to do, for our people.
This is it. Like I said, it
Yep.
was almost debilitating for me because I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what God's called me to do is to advocate for people who can't advocate for themselves. And it's it's swallowing its own,
Absolutely.
and how is that happening? And how do we fix that? What do we do with that? And really, like, I'll just kind of go back to it. I think it has everything to do with your support system.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you can't do it all on your own and that this monster, this beast of mental health is just, it's huge. It's enormous. And so it's going to take an army of humans to tackle it.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of with Never Too Late. I'm really, that's that constant prayer of, please God, bring me the right people, the right
Right.
resources. Let me know who, and he is, you guys, he is providing. He is doing that. And so me having that discernment and knowing how to delegate and who's going to be good for what. And
Exactly.
and listen, I am not a leader. Well, I'm not going to say that. I am a
I
leader.
got upset with you. Yes, you
I am a leader.
Yes, you are.
I'm a
Don't
leader.
ever say that.
But I never thought I was going to be a leader. I
Right.
never thought, I was one to follow the crowd. I did what other people did, got me in a lot of trouble.
Same.
But I always
too.
had that, that like,
Yes.
I'm supposed to be doing something else.
Right.
Even when it was the drugs or the, whatever I was into, I always had that like underlying, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. And I think that's what kind of kept me in this just, I don't know, it was like misery and like this pressure, like this heavy pressure that I was supposed to be doing something better.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
kind of rejected it. I was like, oh, I that's not me. I'm not worthy of that. I couldn't possibly. And to be, I don't want to say like I'm doing it, but to do something
No, you are. We are.
Yeah.
Don't discredit what we're doing just because we're
Right.
not making money from it.
I mean, that's gonna come. It's fine.
That will come. That
Yes.
that will
We
come to us. We're going to
are-
do that full time. That's going to be our job, is to be
Yeah.
that advocate. And there's no shame in saying, I claim that I want to have a salary and an income to help people.
Yes.
I'm going to just put that right out there because I know you got haters. You've always got haters and naysayers, but like that's my dream. I want to do.
Let the haters be your
Yeah,
motivators.
whatever. I'm not studying y'all. And I mean, I've had some on my blog. Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, just real ugly, hateful stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even respond to you. If that's who you are, if this isn't meant for you, actually, it is meant for you. And one day you're going to have the realization and wake up, I wish I would have listened to that girl.
Right.
But you got to figure it out. You got to figure out what it is that you are passionate about and start from an early
Yeah.
age. Don't wait.
Don't wait. Well,
Well, we waited.
just start.
Just start.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
Just start. Just do it.
Just start.
Yeah. I think that's the key.
Get up and go. Small things like you were talking about earlier, that overwhelming, and I'm feeling you too. I think we share the brain and the anxiety and all of that.
Yes.
It's almost like I've got so much to do. It's like paralyzation. I'm like, I
Yes.
can't do anything.
And going back to like a perfectionist thing, I used to get so wrapped up. I was such a perfectionist. I even had to fold the laundry in this perfect, beautiful way. Like nothing could be
Yeah.
wrong. Nothing could be out of place. It just has to be so perfectly folded and everything, and it made me so lazy that laundry would never get done because I needed at least 10
Mountains
hours
and-
because it had to be color coordinated. And then I had to put, tank tops and then short
Chrissy, that's
sleeve
too
and then
much.
3/4 length. I know. I've gotten rid of that. Okay, y'all. I
Good.
just do the laundry now. I
'Cause
just
that is-
fold it.
that is
I
too
mean, I
much.
still am a little bit crazy about how it's folded, but I don't do the color
Well, that's
coordinating.
okay.
Right.
Like I don't like for my kids to fold my towels because I want them
like the
folded a certain
towels.
way.
Yes, I like the.
And
I don't
they-
like any of like the hanging parts out. I like it
Yes.
looks nice.
It's like a nice fold. It's got
Yes.
it folds in on itself.
Yes,
See, we are the same person.
exact
This
same.
is
We're
so
even
eerie.
neurotic about
Well,
towels.
we did kind of plan the shirts. We were like,
We
we're gonna
did
wear
plan
this.
this.
We're going to try to coordinate as much
but
as
the
we
first
can.
day,
First day, that was totally on accident. All the
Oh,
black,
yes,
totally on accident.
we were like
But
all blacked out. Just
today,
faces.
it's like grayish shoes. Their
Yep.
tennis shoes are the same. Ripped up jeans. It's crazy.
It's
Our
crazy.
hair,
is the same.
we don't care about it.
Curly.
We just,
We're just curls today.
I don't have time to straighten my hair for you guys.
Okay.
Don't
I mean, it just takes so long.
get what you get.
You like it.
You like it. Oh my goodness. So we're live on Facebook now.
Yep, we're live. So hello, all our beautiful friends on
Hello.
Facebook and on YouTube. We're on both.
I
We
know.
got 2 screens right now. This is cool.
How cool is
This
that?
is so cool.
We're doing the thing.
Um,
Please share.
yes,
since
please
we're-
share the show. I know we don't have and if you can't hear us on Facebook, go over to YouTube and you can see us there. You can comment. There's a comment section there, so you can watch us live either way.
We love your comments.
Yes.
If you've got an opinion or something to say, or want to share your story or whatever, let us know. We're always looking,
Right.
for
Always.
people who
We love feedback.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Anything that we can do better, or a topic that you might want us to
Any
cover.
topics.
Because our creative brains get tired sometimes.
Little
Need
bit.
a little,
A little bit. It's all right.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
That whole not sleeping thing. I gotta fix that, y'all. And you can say melatonin. I'm gonna overdose on it if I keep taking it the way that I am.
What a way to go.
Right?
Don't do it.
Addicted to
Don't do it.
melatonin.
And you know what? It's kind of funny because we do think of these substances that we're taking, it's not addictive, da 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 da. But I have a friend and her mom had to go not to inpatient treatment or anything, but she had to do something because she was physically addicted to nasal spray.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? So her
I
body
think I've
had
heard
just
of that before.
yeah.
I
the
was gonna say she needs to go on that
non-saline-
show, but that's not weird. I've heard
Well,
of that.
she just her nose would only produce whatever it's supposed to produce with the spray. You know
Oh.
what I mean? She had trained her body that it couldn't, and it's kind of like just telling yourself oh, I don't have enough of this, so I have to take this all the time.
It's
It's your
that
brain.
mind
Your
game,
brain
the
is
way
so
that
powerful.
It is, and so complex, and believe me, I am walking that road with my kid right now, trying to figure out and there are things that we're never going to understand about the brain. And that's something that I'm going to have to come to
Absolutely.
grips with is that, we may not be able, we have to figure out what Kaylee's normal is, not, and we may not get all the answers, we have
Right.
to build a life around whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the brain it's a super powerful, and that's why I believe so much in the reprogramming and the neurofeedback therapies
Yes.
and that sort of thing that isn't affordable at all.
Right. It
But
should be.
it should be, and we're not going to stop talking about it.
And the reason
pushing
why
it.
it's not affordable, or the reasons why, I think medications can be affordable in some situations,
Mhm.
and like these therapies that really work are a little bit more out of reach is because, you could do those once you learn that therapy, you kind of do it by yourself.
You can, yeah, and then
You know?
oh my gosh, like we're healing ourselves.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't heal yourself.
Don't heal yourself. Don't do it yourself. You need me because I'm an expert
Mhm.
and I have bills to pay, and you need me to tell you.
And I get it.
I do get it
I
too.
understand. I understand everybody's got to make a dollar. But when you are risking a human lives, lives,
Human lives.
a human lives, that, you have to, there's got to
Yes.
be somewhere where we're like, okay, enough of this. This has
Right.
to stop. We have to stop.
Like we're more important.
Yes. God created each and every one of us. He made no mistake when he created you
Mm-mm.
or me, you. I mean, we are his divine creatures and
Absolutely.
we treat each other like, excuse my language, but like shit.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We treat each other horribly.
Be the change you wish to see
Be
in the
a
universe.
change.
Yes. Very good.
See, we just get so emotional about it.
I know. I'm very emotional. Yes.
But
But
we
there's-
got to do it. We have to keep spreading that light,
Mhm.
saying it over and over,
Over and over.
over and over. You guys are going to get sick of hearing it, but I'm not going to stop saying it.
Good.
I'm really excited about our cares person.
Yes, she is amazing. So Larissa, I met her I think maybe like a year and a half ago. Somewhere, and
I don't
just kinda
remember
where.
You need a nap. You need
I
to
do.
sleep.
I do. But she's absolutely fantastic, and she has just so much knowledge. It's kind of, we went to the same treatment center, and we missed each other by, I think, I don't know, we were there at the same time period, like the same month, but I think a different year. But I think we just missed each other by this much or something. But yeah, she's amazing, and she's going to be with us in just a second.
I can't wait to hear kind of her story. And
Yes.
I love
I love
listen, I love
stories.
to hear y'all's stories. We've been getting some messages on our pages from you guys and just sharing your truth.
Mhm.
And when I'm telling you that I pray for you specifically by name, that is, I mean, I stop right then and I do that
Right.
right then because I will forget if I don't.
There she is.
There she is.
Hi, Larissa.
Hey, Christy.
Hi,
How are you?
Larissa.
Hey.
Christina.
Christy
Chrissy and Christina.
Yeah, it's easy.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just headed home from Macon.
All right. What were you doing out there?
We just
Enjoy-
did a presentation at a hospital there about for my job. We run a program in the NICU that provides peer support to pregnant moms or moms that have babies born with NAS. So
Beautiful.
and that's at
Love it.
Northeast Georgia Hospital System. So we just did a presentation to some of the NICU staff and nurses and stuff at a hospital in Macon.
How amazing. I really admire you and the work that y'all are doing at the Georgia Council of Substance Abuse and just the passion that you bring to it. I had the pleasure of sitting in and watching Larissa work one time, and just the things that you said and the compassionate way that you present ideas and present information to people, I think is, I don't know, like you maybe should teach a class on that or something, how you do it, because I need to know.
I'll take it.
I will take the class.
got some good teachers, and I can't believe they pay me to do this. Like,
Oh
I get
my
paid to run around and talk
Aw.
about recovery. Like,
Amazing.
Yeah.
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 I love that
Mhm.
you said that. I can't believe people pay me to do this.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, would you want to just give us like a little snippet of what got you into recovery and how you got to working with the Georgia Council of Substance Abuse?
Sure.
Awesome.
What got me into recovery? That's a big question.
Yeah. We've got an hour.
Honestly, mostly I was just tired.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess, to talk about that, I got to talk a little bit about,
Yeah.
not going to war stories, but talk a little bit about the past.
Yeah.
We do want to hear that for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So for me, I was always a good kid, made good grades, like played sports, was super innocent, knew nothing about anything.
Mhm.
I remember one of my friends in high school, she had been smoking a little bit, and she was talking about smoking a bowl, and I was asking, so what does that look like? Does it look like a cereal bowl, or what? Like, had no idea. Like a
Awesome.
junior in high school. So so when I tried it the first time, though, I smoked with her, and it was like I found the answer to everything.
Right.
Like, I'd always been like super depressed and anxious, like as long as I could remember. And it was like when I smoked, all of a sudden, all of that went away.
Right.
And so I took off real quick. And that was my junior year. I can't remember if it was the summer right before or right in the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
but I was in rehab in that April. So
Wow.
it went, 0 to 1,000 in a matter of months.
Mhm.
And like, went to rehab, was an awful experience. Because I come from like a pretty normal family. And like, I remember saying that in one of our first group meetings, and we were all sitting in those uncomfortable couches and the counselors in there
Right.
and talking about feelings and stuff. And I remember just saying, like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I come from a good family. Like, my parents love me and support me. And I just, like, I can't seem to stop using. And I'm so angry all the time. And the counselor got all upset, and
It's okay.
like took
Yeah.
his
You can say that.
You said
I
pissed
can't.
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
and he just stood up, took his clipboard, slammed it on the ground, and was like, when you're ready to start getting real and talk about what's really going on at home, then we can talk. And so I just kind of like, I think throughout my life I had like experiences where I went out like on a limb and tried to be vulnerable and speak like my truth, what I knew is my truth.
Right.
And that was like the time where it just got completely shut down, and I was like, screw this.
Right.
And spent the rest of the time in timeout, and they took my shoelaces and stuff.
Oh.
And and so like I
Been there.
left there early and ended up dropping out of high school.
Mhm.
And I got pretty lucky. My parents, they were able to send me to boarding school in Maine. I didn't think I was lucky at the time,
Right.
but they sent me to this boarding school, and I repeated my junior year and was able to graduate high school and went on to college, and was doing everything that I thought was normal for a college student. So I was just drinking a lot, as much as I could,
Mhm.
but was still going to class and working and had internships and was making fairly decent grades, until like the hangover. I had stopped using I'd use like Coke on the weekend, but
Right.
for the most part, I stopped using hard drugs. And and then to kind of like take care of the hangovers when they started getting really bad,
Mhm.
I figured I could take painkillers.
Yep.
Mm.
And then that whole cycle started.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and that was really, I did that for about 3 years, and then couldn't find that anymore and switched on to heroin. And then things just kind of spiraled, and like I was quitting my jobs on a whim, and like our power got shut off in our apartment, and like we were using candles to be able to see and had no hot water, and eventually got evicted. And so it was just like a constant struggle every day, just to not be sick or
Yeah.
just to not come down,
Right.
and just to like survive, basically. And that's exhausting. Like, I think the ways that people that have used and the just like the experiences that we have and finding a way to continue to just make it through another day. Like
Mhm.
that's so much more goes into that than I think people realize sometimes. But for me, like that just kind of like wore me out.
Right.
And I had watched somebody, I had met a high school sweetheart. I met him in boarding school in Maine, and he actually came back to Georgia with me.
Uh-huh.
So we had been together like 9 years
Wow.
or so towards the end. And it was about 4 months before I got into recovery. And we were sitting at a McDonald's parking lot on North Avenue in Atlanta. And we were in his car, and he was doing his thing, and I was doing my thing, and I couldn't get my thing going. And I look over, and he's just like stuck in an overdose.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Wow.
his hands were like stuck up in the air, like in an L shape, both hands, and
Yeah.
his face was completely purple. He couldn't speak, but his eyes were moving. And like well, first thing I did was I hid everything, and then I just started like shaking him and like slapping him and like begging him not to die and not to leave me here in this mess. And a cop drove by behind us in the parking lot. So I like got out of the car, tried to chase the cop down, but he got away. And then I ran back to the car, and by that point somebody else had called 911. I guess they saw what was happening when I was chasing the cop down the road. And so I got back in the car after I talked to 911 on that guy's phone, and they were I knew the ambulance was coming out, and I was just like, again, just shaking him, begging him not to die. And like I had this thought and this like realization, like, holy shit, how am I going to explain this to his parents? Like, how am I going to tell his older sister that like I sat there and watched her brother die, and that like I'm part to blame for it? And then that went into like, damn, somebody's going to have this same conversation with my parents if I don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like for the first time, like, because I had overdosed before, and it was just like I just fell asleep and then I'd wake back up. So
Right.
like, and it was rough on other people around me, but I didn't realize the effects of it. And so seeing that was the first time that like I was actually, it was like looking at the situation from the outside in, and saw like just the amount of damage that was happening to everybody else around me and to my family and the people that loved me. And so so he actually he came back to maybe like 30 seconds before the cop knocked on the window.
Yeah.
And and then I guess this is a testament to like thoughts and behaviors when using, but the cop knocked on the window, and he just looked over at me and gave me this look like, you called the cops? Like,
Right.
like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
after
Like,
that-
how
what
dare
were you thinking?
yeah, how dare you? So you know, we went through that whole thing, and the cops threw all of our stuff out of the car and searched
Right.
everything, didn't find anything, and took him over to Grady. And so once I saw like everything's gonna be fine, he's okay, I just went into the bathroom there and just like dropped to my knees, like crying, like begging God, please just get me out of this. Like I can't do it anymore. And so and then I went to my car and finished the rest of the stuff. But
Right.
so even though I was still caught up in that cycle of using, because you know our brains change when it happens,
Yep.
and we get
Mhm.
Mhm.
addicted to it, and we have to completely rewire our brains.
Right.
And I wasn't there yet. But I tried to get into detox the next day, and they just said there weren't any beds and to sit there and wait. So
Yeah.
I'd wait for a couple hours, and the withdrawals would kick in, and I'd go back out. And
Mhm.
I went on with that cycle, trying to get into detox for about 4 months, unsuccessfully. And I didn't want to say that I was going to kill myself. I don't know why I refused to say that, even though I was going to.
Mhm.
But eventually, you know, in that 4 months, things got even worse. And eventually, also I've been trying to find a treatment center that would take me without any insurance or any money. And I found one, but they had told me that they wouldn't take me unless I go to detox first, because if I'm
Yep.
detoxing there, then they'd kick me out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I couldn't get into detox. So eventually I was able to get some Suboxone from my dealer in Atlanta. And, and I think that's an interesting part of it because she actually helped me more. The people that this community that people want to tear down and like, get rid of it. My dealer there actually helped me more than our own system.
Right.
So that makes that's a lot of my motivation to do a lot of the work that I do today. But so I was able to get some Suboxone and I stuck it in a book and snuck it into rehab with me and was like rationing it out so that I could detox. Like the symptoms of my detox wouldn't be visible to the people there because I thought I'd get kicked out if so. So, I mean, it was still really rough, but it was bearable enough that like if I didn't sleep for a few days, I'd like go into the shower. They had a handicap stall, so I'd like take naps on the handicap bench in there.
Mm-hmm.
At times when I felt like I could sleep, so that nobody would see, just turn the shower on and get a couple minutes of sleep in there. So it was a difficult process. It was a lot of like fighting to find ways, even if the system's failing me, failing anybody, fighting to find ways to make it work regardless.
Right.
But like something happened in there and like all of a sudden I started getting like these bits of happiness again because they were feeding us really good. There was a great cook there. So
I remember.
Yep, Miss Sarah.
The best cook
So
ever.
good. Yep, those turkey legs.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was so nice not eating McDonald's cheeseburgers for every single meal.
That's how they hook you.
Yeah,
That's how
the
they get
food,
you to
yeah.
stay. Yes.
It made everything
You
better.
gotta be addicted
Yeah.
to something.
And then you got to work when you get out because you can't fit into any of your clothes. You need a whole new wardrobe.
Yes, yeah. Recovery baby.
Yes.
Recovery
Oh.
baby.
I heard somebody call the 6-month chip the blue jean chip because your blue jeans don't fit anymore.
That is
Everything
funny.
taken over again.
Yeah.
Funny.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. But it was cool because it was all of a sudden I was with a bunch of people in the same position that I was in, and we were like crying, laughing over things like that, not being able to fit in our clothes anymore, and
Right.
like all these things that I guess being out, if it's a low, then being out in that kind of way, the appreciation for things like that is just is so much bigger than it would have been otherwise.
Absolutely.
So we started forming these like deep and meaningful relationships with people in there. And it was people that, I might know for 3 weeks in there. And I felt more connected to them than I had felt to anybody since. I mean, I had some really, really tight friends in high school and a couple in college, but this was different than that. Because nobody had anything to give or take from anybody else other than like who we were as a person.
Right.
So nobody had any money, nobody had anything, nobody had any drugs, nobody had any like material possessions that like sometimes relationships get clouded by.
Yeah.
So it's nice having that be just like a complete, everybody's at the same ground level, none of us have shit and we all love each other.
Right.
So, and that started to like fill that void that I had always felt.
Yes.
And so I was trying to find a halfway house while I was in there because I was so scared to, like, I knew the 28 days was coming up. I was so scared to go home. And I was actually going to find a way to just stay another 28 days if I couldn't find a halfway house instead. And somehow, like, somebody ended up leaving the house that I wanted to go to entirely ready. Somebody ended up leaving I guess they had a plan, but didn't know about it. But so a bed opened up and I was able to get in there. I think I had like 12 hours between the two.
Right.
So I went home, got my stuff, and went straight to entirely ready for, I guess I was there like 4 months. And then I decided to leave to go back to be with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a setback And I remember it's interesting going through all this in my head again.
I know, yeah. The feelings are still there. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm cured now. Like, I'm good. I'm going to go live in my dad's house and, start building back my relationship with Ben. And so we were riding to a meeting, and he had a setback and was using again. And so he was nodding out my passenger seat.
Mhm.
I just had like this thought, like, if I could either keep driving right now. I guess the way to think about it is it's one of those thoughts where I know if I make decision A, I'm going to live. If I make decision B, I'm most likely not going to live. I'll probably end up dying. And if I continue riding with him and I go to that meeting and do whatever, continue this relationship,
Right.
then I'm going to end up dying. If I turn around, drop him off, swallow my pride, call up the director of the halfway house and ask if I can go back, I'll likely live. And I don't know, something just happened, and I went and dropped him back off and called up Nicole over there and
Mhm.
told her I hadn't used, told her the situation, basically begged her if I could come back, and I had left on good terms, and she said, yeah, come on. And so then I went back there, and so I guess I was there a total of about 9 months.
Fabulous.
And then it was more of the same thing, just getting connected in meetings, and
Mhm.
I spent my Christmas marathon meetings and
Yes.
just different things that I didn't realize that I needed. Like, I thought I needed to get a house or a car or
Right.
better clothes or all these other things back, but really I just needed to like meet some good people and make connections with humans again. So
Yeah. And I think that's so beautiful, well, your whole story was beautiful. I mean, I think we both cried. It's gut-wrenchingly
gut-wrenchingly
emotional
beautiful.
and absolutely just so I was there with you. I was in the car with you. I was running after the police with you.
Yes,
like the
I
way
felt
you
like-
say you told that story. I was there with you
Yes,
every step of the way. You know what I
right.
mean?
There's
And
like goosebumps
yes,
because I
Oh,
felt the exact same way. I
poignant,
was like, oh my
beautiful.
gosh, we're doing this together, like right now.
Yes, like
What's
I was
happening?
there, and like when you said like, oh, telling this, it's like, yeah, like the memories come back. Like, I felt them.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
but
gonna
I was
cry.
there.
That's powerful.
It was amazing. I mean, and I think every
Thank
time we
you.
get this opportunity to tell our story and to tell our truth, it heals
It
those
is
places.
healing. It
Mhm.
is
Yes.
healing.
And to tell somebody in like an audience that wants to hear it, isn't judging, needs to hear it because they need to see how you did it. How'd you do that, girl?
Yes.
I need to do
Yeah.
that.
Tell me.
Mhm.
You know?
And everybody needs to because it may take everybody needs to be sharing their story because what worked for one person
Right.
may not work for someone else. You've
Mhm.
got to hear
Right.
these truths, and they're hard. It's hard. It was so hard. It was so hard to hear your voice, and I heard it crack, and I heard it. I knew that it was painful for you to get some of that out, but my gosh, like it's
Like I think we all just healed on a level. Like anyone who's listening to this, I think we all just like got a huge gift
Yes,
from that sharing. And I just think thank
that's
you.
exactly
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
the gift that you are giving
Yes.
someone else
That
when
is
when you're
amazing.
sharing your story,
Mhm.
and the gift that
I
you're giving
know.
to yourself that says, you
Mhm.
know what, I
I'm
did some really
important.
jacked up stuff,
Yeah.
and I've but look where I am now. Like look
Yeah.
who I have become because of it. I'm on the other side, and
Yeah.
now I get to reach out my hand in those deep waters and say, take my hand. Let me pull you up.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
don't have to
Beautiful.
do it anymore.
Yes. You
Mhm.
don't
you're
have to,
not
and you don't
you
have
are
to do it
not alone. You
alone.
are never
Yeah.
alone.
You don't have to do it, and you don't have to do it alone.
Mhm.
And so speaking of that, being on the other side, tell us some of these amazing things that you've done. So
Yes.
how'd you get a job with the Georgia County?
Yeah,
I've
like,
always
how does
wanted to
that-
ask you this. I'm so excited to ask you.
How does
now.
that work?
So, a freaking miracle.
As most of the good things in life come through miracles, I do believe.
Yeah, everything just kind of fell into, I don't know, everything just kind of fell together. So that starts back to, I think my first, within the first month that I was at Entirely Ready,
Right.
Nicole, the director there, is also, she's a CARES, which is Certified Addiction Recovery Empowerment Specialist. It's the training that the Georgia Council does
Mhm.
for people in recovery to support other people. And so it's like something between a sponsor and a counselor. So we're not clinicians, we just use our lived experience to help others.
Beautiful.
And so she was a CARES, and I didn't understand what that meant. And I'm not sure if I even knew it at the time, but she asked me to write out my goals. And so this was actually before the goals. So she asked me like what I wanted to do in the future.
Mhm.
And I said that I wanted to share my stories and help people that are in college struggling with substance use and addiction, help them find support, and mostly just share my story, I think is what I said then. And I remember it exactly because I was sitting on one bed and she was sitting on the other bed against the wall, and she just kind of like sat up and she held out her arm and she's like, "Oh my God, I just got chills." And I was like, "What?" And she told me about this movie called The Anonymous People.
Uh-huh.
And it was made, I guess, probably around like 2013, 2014, I think. And told me that I needed to watch that movie, and that there's this place called the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, and they do stuff like that. And to watch this movie and then talk to her afterwards about it. And so I immediately went, found it. At that time, I think it was free on YouTube at that time. So I
Mhm.
watched it and was like, here it is. Here's my calling. This is what I want to do. And it was just like this hour-long video about, I guess, the evolution of recovery throughout a lot of years, actually, and particularly the evolution of it within government. So at one point, I think it was back in the 70s, there was a recovery caucus for, I think it was Congress and Senate. They had a
Uh-huh.
recovery caucus and actually talked about recovery stuff. And they went on and they talked about like different ways that people advocate for laws that better support people in recovery. Just basically do a lot of the things that I do now, run around talking about recovery. And it, and when I was watching it, like that, I get that feeling in my stomach, like, wow, there is a whole entire movement out here that's supporting people like me and people like my friends and all of us that had been struggling. There's actually people out here that are trying to help us. And so I went back and I talked to her about it, and she told me more about Georgia Council and CARES and what I need to do to become a CARES. And
Mhm.
she took me and a couple of the other ladies that were at the house. She took us to Addiction Recovery Awareness Day at the Capitol,
Yes, in
which is
January.
something, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember the cold.
I'm gonna go to that.
It's
Remember it's
freezing.
cold every year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And it's a beautiful day though. So we all went there,
Absolutely.
and we were checking a bunch of monsters beforehand, like the
Yeah.
typical, early recovery stuff. This is actually the time when I was not at the halfway house step period that I left, is when she took us all there.
Uh-huh.
I met her up there. And so I remember just like sitting on the floor in the Capitol. This was back when they still had it in the Capitol. I was sitting on the floor in the Capitol. Amber was there, Kat was there, and we were just sitting like cross-legged, and there were these people coming up to the podium, and there was a huge crowd, and people were like cheering and screaming. And I remember Neil Campbell spoke, and I was just like looking at her, like watching and listening and hanging on every word and just like in complete awe. And Hank Arnold spoke, and a couple other people were just talking about stuff similar to the Anonymous People and about changing laws in Georgia. And the naloxone people were there. So Georgia Overdose Prevention, it's a bunch of moms that got a law passed so that to make that 911 law,
Right.
where if
Anybody can
anybody
call.
overdoses, they
Yeah.
can call 911, not get arrested. So it just kind of like reiterated that feeling of, man, this is what I want to do. So I wrote that out on my goals that I was going to go over with Nicole. I wanted to become a CARES. I wanted to work for the Georgia Council, and I wanted a hammock because I used to do a lot of my journaling in
I love
hammocks, and I
that.
loved it.
I have a hammock.
So
Love it. Mhm.
one of the ones that you put between the trees.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can bring it everywhere. Yeah, I
Yes,
keep it in my
it's a
truck now.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everywhere I go, it goes with me.
Yep. You
You
never
just
know when
never
you might
know.
need it.
Never
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Naps are important.
Naps are
They
important.
are.
It brings me to my happy place still there.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Well, and those
so
are
like
big goals, you know, like, and
Yeah.
I know I don't mean to interrupt you, but just that
oh, it's
feeling,
okay.
because I can relate so much to that feeling when you watch this movie, and I actually put it in my notes. I'm gonna watch it too. But having that profound moment when you're like,
The aha
okay,
moment.
this is what I'm supposed to do,
This is
and
it.
it grabs a hold of you, and it is relentless.
Yep.
It won't let you go until you do it.
Yes.
Yep.
hmm And that
That is
helped to keep me in recovery too.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
So like the days I wanted to use, I knew if I used, then I'd have to start my 2 years over again because you have to have 2 years without using to be qualified for CARES.
Uh-huh.
So like that passion and then the, I don't know if it's guidelines or whatever it is, those requirements, like that pulling passion is what helped me a lot on those really hard days because the hard days are there.
They're always there.
They're always
I-
gonna be
I
there.
want everybody to know that they're always going to be there. They're always there. They're always going to be there. It's what you do with
Yeah.
them, you know.
It's up to
Reach
you.
out.
It is. It's up to
Reach
you
out.
and your support. You know, we saw someone that had commented, and he said he doesn't have a sponsor, and I was like, man, you got to have a support system.
Right.
Like, you got to find that person. Do you need some help? Do you want me to, like, you got to have that.
And I think, you know, when we look at like individual recovery, I always say to each his own. You know, you got to do what works, but you know, following suggestions, they're there for a reason. The definition of a suggestion is subtle command. So, you know, it's not.
Do it.
Yeah.
You got to do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, I don't do 12-step as much.
Right.
Actually, I don't really do it at all anymore.
Mhm.
I still have a sponsor, but I don't go to meetings anymore.
Mhm.
But like in the beginning, those suggestions, like I don't know where I would be without that.
Right.
Like I used to bring my
Right.
little notebook with me
Oh
everywhere and
yeah.
write down all these things.
All this stuff. I'll write down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do it as much anymore, but still sometimes I'm like, God, I need a piece of paper. Say that
Yeah.
again. You know?
This is
Like,
what
what'd you
this
just say?
is.
Yeah.
I have to write everything down.
Yes.
I'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody. I'm like, I just had this idea, or they have an idea that I want to use, and I'm like, I gotta write it down. Hold on one
Yeah.
second.
Yep.
Everybody stop.
Yeah, I can pretend like I'm gonna remember, but I'm not going to.
I will
Right.
never remember.
I've learned that
Like
about
within
myself.
2 seconds, I'll be like,
Uh-huh.
wait, what'd you say?
What were you saying? Like, I'm totally listening to you, but I'm not sure what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's drugs. Drugs are bad.
Mhm. Yeah, I did entirely too much heroin to remember.
Right. Among other things.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh.
Yes.
Um,
But I love that program exists, that, you know, and they hold that accountability piece. I always want to talk about accountability because I'm always throwing sunshine and rainbows all over the place, but there's so much accountability in it. And they say 2 years, you know, you
Yeah.
have to be clean 2 years. And like you said, it gave you something to work for. It gave you something to every time that, you know, that feeling that you needed to use got so overwhelming. You're like, I can't. If I do, then I'm ruining it my whole life forever.
Right.
Like, I can't do it.
right, yeah.
And
I
even
love that.
smaller things like, you know, Larissa, she's Wonder Woman, you
Right.
know, but you know, you don't have to even
Yes.
just like volunteering, you know, volunteering your time in whatever recovery aspect that you choose. You know, there's a million out there. Don't think that if NA and AA, if the A's don't work for you, find something else. Something that is out
Yeah.
there bound to fit
Mhm.
your needs and your who you are as a person, who you want to become. There's something out there.
Yeah, like the faith-based stuff.
There's
Celebrate
faith-based,
recovery,
and then
type
there's
things, and
smart recovery.
um,
There's a recovery. All they do is work out. You know, I could get down
Yeah,
with
the
that.
Phoenix.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah, they
that's
like go
cool.
rock climbing and biking, and that's
Yes.
their recovery.
And it's like
what?
nature and
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean
all
that
about that.
that's
Can I
beautiful.
just join that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go search the Phoenix Atlanta. They just went on a. Oh wait, no, that wasn't an official Phoenix event because of insurance. But some people that participate in the Phoenix Atlanta went on a whitewater rafting trip in Columbus
Oh,
last
I
weekend.
love that.
That's
Like,
amazing.
yeah,
We were just
Yes.
talking about going.
Yes.
Dude,
We were just
it's.
talking about it.
I missed it, but I was looking at the pictures of it. It looked incredible.
That
I feel
is
like that could be
amazing.
somebody's recovery.
Right.
You know?
And
Mhm.
whatever way recovery looks like to you, chase it.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
chase it like you
Mhm.
chased, the next hit. Because I mean, there's nothing I wouldn't do for the next one.
And that's what we
Yep.
say.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
you're going to be addicted to. Everybody is addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to
Mhm.
find the good thing, to be addicted, to find the thing that fuels you and passion,
Yeah.
that you're their passion and drives you and moves you
Exactly.
forward
I
instead of
always,
pushing
yeah.
you down in a hole.
I always tell people I got really strongly addicted to meditating when I first got clean. I was doing it like 3 and 4
Mhm.
hours a day. It was
Mhm.
bad,
A
and
constant
it
state
wasn't
of
bad at all,
meditation.
actually. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but I wanted to do it. I was like, no, this makes me feel good right now. I didn't, and I was looking for something to make me feel good. But you know what I found? I found myself through
Mhm.
doing that.
Mhm.
All
Mhm.
all kinds of amazing things came from that. I mean, and now I can get into like a meditative state. Like I'll do it right now. I'm there.
See, I need to practice. I'm still honing my skills in on the meditation, so I cannot do that. It takes me a long time.
Every time I try, I just fall asleep.
And that's
That
good.
happens to me
that
too.
that is so natural. Don't be discouraged by that, okay? Like it's the most natural thing in the world to be in the alpha state. That is the state of sleep, and it's the state of meditation. But the healing comes when you break through.
Hmm.
Break
Well,
through
I'm
that.
always like, am I doing this? Am I doing it right? And like, I'm sitting here like meditating. I'm like, am I doing this right? Is this
Yeah, analyzing the
But
meditation.
I'm
Right.
analyzing my meditation. Now, the only time I
I'm
think
gonna
I'm
overthink the hell out of this.
yes, because that's who I am. But every time I'm like in savasana, when I'm there,
Uh-huh.
savasana is corpse pose, like laying on the floor in yoga. For those of you that don't know, I think I'm doing it. I'm getting it there.
Yeah.
I think that's what's
Mhm.
happening. Like that's my God connection time, and
Yeah.
I'm just completely. I just kind of focus on like a white light, and
Yeah.
I just zone out.
Meditation, I think there's this big stigma around meditation too. Like it has to be done like this super specific way. And you have to, I've gotten the most benefit out of really sitting with my thoughts. There's types of meditation where you do think, you just direct your thoughts,
So that one thing.
so they're not like taking over. You know what I
I
mean?
need
'Cause
to, that's what I need.
start with that.
Shut down the
with what you're
tabs.
already doing. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm already thinking way too much. Well, I'm going to do a thinking meditation then, right?
Right.
I already overanalyzed the crap out of myself, so I'm going to overanalyze meditation. Start there.
Here's
You're
what it
That's
is.
fine.
Uh-huh.
You can do it.
Huh.
Yeah, I
So-
like things that aren't
Yeah.
rule. Anything that I have to follow rules. I'm
We're
not
rule
about it.
breakers.
I'm a rule
Yeah,
breaker.
it's not gonna work.
so.
So what do you have coming up? So what's going on now?
What's going on now,
With
man?
you or,
I just started school again.
so
exciting.
exciting.
22nd of August. Yeah, I'm going back to. So I get my bachelor's degree in political science, and I'm going back for my master's in public health. Dude, and you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
So I applied to Emory just as like a long shot, and just figured, I don't know, I'll just try this out. And I wrote about my overdose in my application letter, and still got in. Like
Wow.
writing about an overdose, which speaks volumes to how much like ideas and perceptions
I
are
love
changing
it.
in my mind. Ideas and perceptions are changing about
is
the way
amazing.
people view addiction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're part of that change. Like how beautiful. Like you're so
Right.
instrumental in that change,
It-
to me.
Well, I mean, and I think stuff
Yeah.
like this too, like having a radio show and just talking about it,
right.
and you said it, both of you guys said it, like sharing stories and just being okay with saying, hey, I'm in recovery, I did
Right.
this, now I do this,
Right.
and it's cool, and I pay taxes and I vote.
Yeah.
And like
I'm working on both those things.
It's all part of the process.
But that's
And
the
show
that's
up,
the thing
yeah.
too. We don't have to be perfect. It's not like, oh, I stopped doing drugs, now I'm perfect.
Thank
Look
God,
at me.
yeah.
It's like
Right,
no, I
no.
still mess up all the time, and I still,
Yep.
I
Amen.
there's things that I still will work on, and I don't want to stop working on me. I think that's the process. You don't stop. You
Ever.
keep going.
Ever.
I one thing goes down, the other thing goes up. Kind of like
Mhm.
that, and then I just squash that. I just recently, and this is sad, but I just recently started to value myself as a human being. You know what I mean? Like deeply, deeply value and love who I am. I mean, that didn't even come to me until like 3 years in.
Me either.
Yeah.
know?
And
I
how
waited
much did
half
your
of my
life
life.
change?
Oh my God. I mean, just phenomenal changes, you know? I just stopped accepting behaviors from other people that I wouldn't accept from myself.
Yeah.
You know, and that really, it just kind of gave me a strength to say, I deserve better. I'm going to go get better. But I wish you the best and I love you. And that's all it was. It wasn't like
Right.
some angry outburst like, how dare you treat me like this? And
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
It came from a
It
place
was
of
peace.
love.
You're
Yeah.
peaceful
Mhm.
with it, you know?
It's amazing. Life
Because
is
everybody's
Mhm.
not where you are in any journey, and you really have to. I am so quick always now. Like I won't gossip. I won't sit around,
right.
and I just don't do that. I want to be around people that ideate and that give me encouragement and like are big audacious thinkers like I am.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, and like fill your soul up with like passion and
yes,
excitement and
please.
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
I'm a
Yes. Give me
sponge
some
for
more of that.
that.
Break me off a piece of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get high off of that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I,
recovery is my new drug. That's for sure.
I love that saying though, like if you're the smartest person in the room, you're
Yes.
probably in the wrong room.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
to like surround yourself with people like that are doing better in whatever way it is. It might just be like one quality that they have that I admire or a bunch
Right.
of qualities, but try to be around people that like look up to more
Yeah. And
often than
lift you up.
being yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that stuff's infectious.
It really is.
It is. It
Mhm.
spreads and you just chase it. You're chasing it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And it leads to beautiful situations like this conversation right here.
Right.
Right. Mhm.
The
And then
law
the
of
cool thing is like
attraction.
Yes.
we get to create these lives that like if my life now wasn't overall, so some days are going to be bad, but like if my life now wasn't better than it was before, I probably wouldn't want to do it. So like keeping that in mind too, like how do
Right.
I create a life that's going to be better than what I had before? And
Right.
for me, I mean that's some level of peace within, some
Mhm.
level of self-acceptance, some level of just like being okay with me. But like how do we create that? Like if you have the option between chaos and peace, choose peace.
Right.
My mentor told me that. But,
That's beautiful.
I
That's
love
so
that.
beautiful. And it's so hard, I think, sometimes for, and I'm speaking of my, about myself, but sometimes for me, it's almost like there's this comfort and there's this security in the chaos and in the
yes.
self-loathing.
Mhm.
Because it gives me this nice, easy to blame thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm acting this way because this happened to me in my childhood, and I'm not, excuse
Oh
me,
my gosh, I did
over
that.
it.
Yeah.
You
I've
know what
done
I
that
mean?
so
And
much.
that's I wanna sometimes I wanna go back there because it's easy and it's safe. But
Yes.
but living
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
peace and joy and love and serenity and the divine is just there's just so much more and it's scary because I'm
Mhm.
not used to that, you know. I'm
Mhm.
not used to loving myself, so when I do make decisions that support that, they're different.
Mhm.
They're different
Mhm.
and they're scary. But
Yeah,
the
and it can
more
feel uncomfortable. Or
yes, but
Yeah.
the more you do it, it just becomes second nature, and then all of a sudden you're living the best life beyond your
It's
wildest
it's
imagination.
reprogramming. You
Mhm.
you reprogram the way that you think. And I mean, you got to think you spent half your life with that mentality of
Mhm.
who hurt me and why they hurt me and how that's why I hurt other people and I was that too. I would blame my mom or my dad
Yep.
or
Mhm.
you know anyone but me. I did not want to take acceptance for my life choices. But the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is, when you become an adult, you're 18 years old, you know you know right from wrong. Most of us do. My daughter probably not, but
Mhm.
most of us do. And you have to own that. You
Yep.
have to own your mistakes and also find forgiveness for the things that you've done wrong, and
Yes.
say, you
Forget
know what, I
self-forgiveness.
forgive you.
Yeah.
Let's do better. How do I do better? And
Mhm.
that's that is an enlightening, beautiful moment, and I am so thankful for that moment for myself every single day.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, it's
Every
so
day.
freeing not having to carry that around all the time.
Absolutely. The
Because it's heavy.
burden.
The baggage is
Yeah.
so, I say now, like I still have all this baggage. It's just, it's a lighter load. Like it's not as
Right.
heavy for me to carry it. I know I've come with lots of baggage, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
I
Mhm.
think there's this beautiful song by Erica Badu. It's called Bag Lady. And
Mm.
if you ever want to look at the lyrics to that, it is profound. Like how um how eloquently she kind of puts like carrying your baggage around. I think there's this one part where it's like, nobody wants to be around you anymore because you're taking too much space up with your bags.
Yeah. Move. Move.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna listen to that.
I'm gonna have to listen to that too. I feel
It's
like I
good,
probably heard
yeah.
it, but
You've definitely heard it, but it's like hearing it again, and that's really the beauty that I
Yeah.
find. It's like I'm seeing things I've always seen, but in this new
just
beautiful
different,
way.
completely different.
Yeah.
Yes. And like it,
Mhm.
and you're like, wow, how did I not see this way before? Like, how have I not always? But that person has been in there. You weren't feeding it correctly. You weren't
Right.
feeding it the nutrition that it needed. To be who you were really meant to be.
Exactly.
It's incredible. It's just I don't even know that there are words that exist to describe how that feels.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for me, like at times I'll get so bogged down on like what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What do I need to change and
Right.
fix and make
Oh,
better?
God.
And forget to think about these are all these things that are great about me and these are my assets, and
Right.
like just get so focused on defects and forget about like all the strengths and all the positive things.
Right.
And like completely lose sight of that. And like the intentions are good, like I want to make all these changes so that I can be a better person, but when I'm constantly thinking about everything that I need to change about myself, I go off the rails.
Right.
Right.
And
It's
Like
overwhelming.
yeah.
It is. And actually, you
Yes.
shared something one time, and I'm totally breaking your anonymity. I apologize, but you
That's
shared
okay.
something one time, and it's always stuck with me. And I think you were picking up a 4 or 5 year chip. It was last year, and you said I stopped trying to figure everything out,
Yes.
and it hit
Mhm.
me like a hole in the forehead. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, that's it. That's it.
Have
Just
you seen my
stop.
NA book?
Uh-uh.
Sorry, anonymity. But it is like it is covered in writing, and like I used it so much that like the binding was falling off on the back and it's taped back together, and like I was just trying to like find the single answer in there to like solve all of that,
Yeah.
and like would just read it constantly, like to the point where it became so obsessive because I was just trying to figure it out, and like dang, that's exhausting. Like,
It is.
and then like when I stopped doing that, things started to like get a little bit more clear,
Right.
Mhm.
and like the truth started, like my truth started to come out.
Yeah.
So like
Mhm.
I mean, again, I got like so much. I don't think I'd be here without it,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure if I would. I don't know, but like when I stopped trying so hard to figure everything out, yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
absolutely. And when you said that, I mean, it's really stayed with me. And I love that there's like these little snippets of information that you get when you surround yourself with people, like-minded people,
Mhm.
and it carries with you. That's like a part
Mhm.
of my life now. Like I think, well, stop trying to figure it out.
Right.
Like shut up.
It's already been done for you. It's
Exactly.
already what's gonna be is what's
Yeah.
gonna be,
And I think it goes along
Mhm.
really well with like I used to say to myself, more will be revealed. You don't even have all the information you need right now to figure it out. So stop.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that's so beautiful. But
Letting life unravel, before you, when you're using the positive tools, when you're doing when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
right.
Don't question,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just go with the flow. It's kind of funny.
Mhm.
I got voted like most easygoing in high school. Well, I was up for it. I don't know if I got it, but
I could see that. For sure.
And I was a freaking
Yep.
neurotic mess inside. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God. I don't know why. It never came out. It was just for me and me alone.
I got best dressed
Yep.
one time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
girl. I was
Christina.
like, what? Really?
My mom got best dressed. She worked at Kmart.
That's wonderful.
You are welcome for that information. I know
Okay.
you're dying to know.
Oh, rabbit hole. See, that's who we
Yeah.
are. Well,
I do want to plug the CARES Warm Line real quick.
Please
though.
Yes,
I can
do.
do that. So we've got this it's called the CARES Warm Line. It's staffed by people in recovery. So and it says it in its name, CARES. So everybody that it's open from 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. 365 days a week, and it's a call or text warm line. So anybody can call, or like for me, I don't like talking on the phone, so I would
Right.
much rather just text.
Mm-hmm.
And like the recovery coaches on that line are just amazing. But the number is 1-844
Mm-hmm.
326 5400. And the
Um,
cool thing about it is I don't like being told what to do, and so I like really appreciate the warm line, because like the whole goal is to support people along whatever pathway they want to go, or just be there to listen. So they're
right.
not gonna, like, it's not a place to call to be told exactly what to do. It's somebody that's just gonna listen and provide support.
And I think that's so necessary, just a listening ear. Yes,
Yeah, because
absolutely.
if you don't have a car, can't make it to a meeting or a community event, or
Mhm.
be around people, and don't, or maybe are in early recovery, don't have as many people to connect with that are also in recovery. It's just like an
Right.
extra, get that connection.
Connection, connection, connection. I
Yes.
think we preach
Mhm.
that
Mm-hmm.
more than anything else. I mean, that's what we are trying to do is be
Yes.
the connection. Who do you know? Who can help with this? What's going on? And
Right.
and really starting at ground level,
Yeah.
with whatever it is for you that could make your life better. Let me
However it
figure out
looks.
how I can help you.
Absolutely.
What we're supposed to be
Mhm.
doing as human
Yes.
beings.
Yeah, be there for each other.
Right. That's the thing of
I don't
it.
know.
You got to be
Yeah.
there.
Where did we lose that? Like,
I
let's get that
know.
back. And
Yes.
I shared
Yes.
quickly. Princess Diana is my idol, you guys. She always has
Mhm.
been since I was a little girl. I just adored her.
Yeah.
And when she passed, it was like heart wrenching for me. And I writer. We all know that. And so I wrote this article that my mom actually got published for me in a local paper. Thanks, Mom.
Oh.
And it, her legacy, and that's, she was a princess, she didn't have to do what she did, but when she went into these, she went to the depressed, the
Right.
mentally ill, those that were
Mhm.
being diagnosed with AIDS, and she sat with them, and she's like, she brought her sons, into these places, some scary places sometimes, and here we are not princess. I'm not Princess Diana here. I'm Diana. This is Harry. Like,
Right.
and we're here because we want to help you. We want to hear your story.
Wow.
She was
Yeah.
this incredible light in a world that there was just not. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be like that. That's who I'm going to be. And I
Aw.
lost it somewhere along the way. And thank you, Jesus, that you gave it back to me.
Well,
Because
I don't think you lost it at all. I think God was creating the person who can carry that message.
you're right. You're spot on with that.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I
Uh-huh.
believe in my
That
story.
testimony that I get to share with other
Yeah.
people, because you know what, you share your testimony, like, how are you still standing? What?
Yeah.
You
Because
what?
when you give like a desire like that to, your higher power, he's got to come up with a way where you can do it.
That's so true. That is so true.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, well, I'm
Mhm.
going to give you the best damn story you could ever share.
Yeah. Thanks, God. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
I mean, your story, like I'm telling
I
you,
know. I'm still like rocked.
we're probably going to talk about it on the way home and like
totally.
cry again. And
You guys are so
we
sweet.
might call you.
yeah, we might
Have
call
more
you.
questions.
Yeah, we need to know more. It's like that series, like that
Yeah.
show that you have to wait for. Gotta wait.
Wait on the
There's-
next season.
I want to know
Dun,
more.
dun, dun. So is there any way we can like help you or your organization? Is there anything we can do, our listeners or anything to help further your message?
Yes. So we are actually doing a bunch of legislative outreach and advocacy events across the state
Love it.
over the next up until January, when session starts again. Because we're worried about legislative or budget cuts coming,
Right.
and funding for substance use and mental health services being cut.
Right.
So if I could send you some information about that, and if you can share it
Please.
and
Absolutely.
let people know what's happening in their communities.
I would love
Yes.
to do that. I
Cool.
mean, I will share it
Okay.
from, of course,
Yeah.
from 0-30 to recovery, but my
Okay.
personal page, and I'll also share it on my
I'm
nonprofit page as
Texting
well.
you my
All right.
email right
Good.
now.
So I want to get
Mhm.
that word out. That's so important because
Absolutely.
the funds are out there. People
Yeah.
the money is out there. It's just not being allocated correctly. And I will preach that till kingdom come. Like, we got to get that together.
Yeah, and we need help. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, all of us yeah, most of us don't have any money to get
Right.
like, you know,
What you need.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And the part of your story that just the trying and trying and trying to get help. When I believe so strongly that when an addict says I need help, you help them. Like you
Yeah.
got to strike while the iron's hot, because those
Yes.
withdrawals, the feeling goes. It's not the feeling of trying to get help goes away. It's that you didn't help me. When
Yeah.
I needed it most.
Yes. Or the methods that you're using aren't helping me. And that's
Right.
transcendent. I mean, I'm telling you, I had a conversation. I don't want to call my friend out or anything, but this morning, she's had a ton of back issues, and it's just been ongoing and ongoing. And, chiropractor payments to the point of maxing out credit cards and things of
Mhm.
that nature. And just sort of, what you're doing is not working, and they just want to pump you full of medicine and here,
Right.
just quell the pain with this and that,
Mhm.
putting band-aids on things. Same thing across the mental health system. These methods aren't working. The things that you're doing over and over again that you've done for years, it's not working anymore. We're losing our people.
Sometimes I do believe like some of our methods are very antiquated, and
Yes.
um
And they're born out of how a profit.
right.
How am I going to
Exactly.
make a
Right.
profit?
Right.
And
Mhm.
who in the world? Why are we profiting off of humanity?
Right.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be a
Yeah.
profitable business, but and yet it's one of the
No.
most profitable.
No,
I always
Uh,
think of that Cat Williams skit
yeah.
where he
I
does
love
that
Cat
thing where
Williams.
he's like, keep trying shit and trying shit and trying shit. If it's not working,
Not working.
keep doing it. Yeah. That's what I think about when I think about it, like a treatment
Yeah,
system.
like
Absolutely.
the definition of
Uh-huh.
insanity. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
A bunch of
Yes.
insane people. I said it before, I'll say it again. My kid was, she was calling me from a crisis stabilization unit a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "You're the crazy ones. I'm not crazy." She's off her rocker. I love her to death. I love you. But there's so much truth in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're doing the same stuff
Keep doing it. Keep
over
doing
and
it.
over, investing more and more money into
Yeah.
the same,
And
just throw that money
You
out the
think
window.
that they would like get it, that maybe some of these methods that they're funneling all this
This
money
isn't working.
into that isn't working, when they get statistics back like the recovery rate is 3%.
But their return,
You know what I mean? Which is like the
Mhm.
margin of error. So it's
Their
really so
return-
no one's recovering. I
it's
don't
their
know.
return that they're looking at. It's their
Right,
return, what
exactly.
they're getting from
What they're
this.
getting back. And if it doesn't work, doesn't that helps, right? That helps the profit. If it doesn't work,
Yep,
you got to
doesn't
keep
work.
coming back.
Keep going back.
Yeah.
But they
keep
are
coming
making
back.
changes though too. Just
Conspiracy
had a-
theories.
yeah.
I'm telling you, I'll
The
go
other
down there.
sides- it's true though.
It's totally true.
They are making like some changes though, like listening
Beautiful.
to people in recovery and
Right.
including peer support and
Yes.
including the voices of lived experience. The state
Mhm.
just gave organization a big chunk of money to do an anti-stigma campaign.
Uh-huh.
And so instead of it just being like those meth billboards up everywhere that basically say you're gonna die, don't bother
Right.
trying. It's
Not
it's
even
called-
once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be over. But it's called Georgia Recovers though, and we've got I don't know how many. I think between MARTA, what are they called? Like the posters and MARTA trains and billboards. It's close to about 100 of them across the state, and it's just people in recovery with their faces and then a quote from telling their stories. And their stories are on the website, but like the state actually
Beautiful.
funded that, so something recovery focused. And
Wow.
I am getting on that right now.
I just shared it in the comments on. I'm gonna do it now on YouTube too.
I love that.
the Georgia
Yeah.
Recover Zone.
If you just Google Georgia Recovers, it'll take you to the Georgia Recovers page on our website.
Covers.
And it's got 18 videos, and you'll get
Amazing.
stuck watching all of them.
I am obsessed with a good share.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, yeah.
That's so awesome. I love this. Okay,
Yes.
I can't.
Oh, she's on the website.
I got-
like what?
I got to get off here right now.
Dead air.
Yeah. Like, are you doing a show or what?
What are you doing?
Y'all know that's how my
Beautiful.
brain works. So
Yes. Well, this has been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
If you ever need anything, please come to us. If we can help in any way, we would absolutely be honored to do that for you,
Yeah, and I
Larissa.
love that you guys are doing this. This is
Thank
amazing,
you.
and thank you so much for having me on
Of
too.
course, of
Yeah.
course. Anytime, open invitation.
All right.
All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to say or add before we go?
No, just thank you again and keep it up. This is awesome.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for the
so
gift that you gave us
Seriously,
today.
Aw,
what
thank
an
you.
honor to hear that story. Like, oh my
you.
God, I'm like still thinking about it. So anyway,
Yeah, I have mascara like up
Yeah.
underneath my eyes. My glasses are on. Y'all can't see it. Thank gosh.
Absolute pleasure to speak with you. If you need anything, call us, please. If you can in any way, our listeners, please join Georgia Council of Substance Abuse in their fight to getting legislation changed, or and if there's anything else that
Get
we can-
involved.
yeah,
I mean, if
that
you
can
see
do. If you
something,
see
a way to
something
get
that
involved,
you
get
can
involved.
do, please do it. So thank you so much, Larissa.
All
That
right,
was
thank you, guys.
amazing. Amazing.
We'll talk,
You.
All right, we'll
all right,
talk soon.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right,
All right. Bye.
Bye. I'm telling you,
Amazing.
every single time
I'm just like, oh my God.
I'm just
Keeps
sitting in
getting
like
better.
awe of these warriors. They're warriors. These people are out here
Absolutely.
doing the thing.
Doing the damn thing.
Yes. So
That's
much more of
amazing.
this. So much more. I need this is
Can I get a huge pat on the back for this? Because I created this puppy.
You are
Can y'all believe this? I kept
incredible.
saying this is what was needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was what was needed.
Yeah.
And nobody listens to the crazy guy. But
well, you
now-
got three crazy
are.
people.
now
sitting
think
here.
about it. Like, this is touching lives. Like, I never figured, because, I mean, think about right now, you're streaming YouTube and Facebook at the same time, dozens of people listening.
Amazing.
I mean, and who would have thought it this particular
True.
time in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
it's just going to get better from here, y'all.
And I'm glad y'all
Mhm.
jumped in. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I couldn't have done this. I'd already got enough to do. Look, you just
Right.
saw me.
Yeah,
I know.
you're
I look
doing
like
the job of like 5 people.
It was
It's
amazing.
what
Like,
is-
if y'all could have seen the behind the scenes of this, like,
The Mad Hatter.
everybody give it up for
And the
DJ
whole
Scotty.
time I
He
kept
really did.
typing, let me know how the sound is. And then
Yeah.
you would hear me turn my phone on. And I'm going, that sounds like shit. I got to fix it. But see, what y'all didn't realize is by me fixing it now,
Yeah.
while I'm awake, doesn't mean I have to do this at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Woo!
And what's funny is that's old school. That's the way we did it for like 3 years.
Yeah,
you know?
I
So-
like it. It looks good.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It
does.
There we
sounds
go.
good too. Awesome.
But hey, enough of me. On to y'all.
Enough about him.
But we are grateful that
welcome.
you give us this platform. And I never thought I
Yes.
would be sitting here doing this. Well, yes, I did. That's not true. I knew I was going to have
She
to.
had
do,
to because she
Yeah.
created this.
Yeah.
Just wait. This ain't nothing. This is just a tip of where I plan on going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because before it's over with, I'll have a church.
All right.
All right.
Because I
Yes.
already am kind of in the works of. I'm part of the first church of cannabis
Yeah.
Okay.
of Georgia already.
Yeah.
So we plan on kind of taking that to another level
All
too.
right.
Look at
You guys
that.
stay tuned. There's a lot of
There's a
lot
lot
coming.
going on.
A
There's a lot
lot's
going on because I
coming.
plan on going to a whole nother level before it's over with. But anyways, enough of that.
Well, next week we have some exciting things coming
Yeah,
up.
we do.
So we are going to be speaking to Heather from Recovery Warrior on
Warrior.
Tuesday.
Love that word.
And then we're gonna have a lot of other stuff. You know, we'll cook it up.
Yeah, we're cooking stuff up
Yeah,
constantly. Believe me.
always.
Not meth.
No,
No meth.
This is a drug
not
free zone.
anymore.
This is a drug.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not any less. No, why would you say not anymore,
Not
Stephanie?
anymore.
Not anymore.
You implied like you did this before in a local trailer park bathroom near you.
You don't know me.
Right? You
Oh
don't know
my God!
me.
Here it goes. You don't know me. Jesus.
Oh.
Rich Archer, by the way, has typed another great show, ladies.
Aw, thank you.
No reason to conference call now. Y'all,
Right.
y'all
All right,
heard
we got
it.
the.
We don't have to do the
the
after call.
attaboy.
Did we want to talk about sponsor?
Yes. So we are looking for, sponsor. If you would like to sponsor Just for Fun Radio, please get in contact with us. You can email me directly, Chrissy, KRISSI, at justforfunradio.com. That's number 4. And if you know anybody, please spread this message. Please share the show. Please like and please, react to it. Please comment. We really, really appreciate it. And we're not doing this, to fill up our pockets or fill up our head or our ego. We want to save lives. And we know
Definitely
that
not.
that's your, we need your help to do it. So
Yeah, because you never know.
please.
You might share it to that one person, that needed it today.
Exactly.
And then he shares it for the person that might have needed it yesterday or tomorrow. You never know.
You never know. And just, it's just one button. So
It's
we're just-
already
just a
organically
click.
growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see how simple that is? I mean, you already share some of the stupidest videos on Facebook.
Right.
Like you'll share a
These
cat.
cats are killing me.
videos.
Oh my God.
See,
yes.
you'll share a cat chasing some damn yarn, but you
Come
won't
on.
share something that could save a life.
I'm not saying
I don't
it's
know
bad.
what to say.
It's cute.
No,
okay?
it's cute. It's
But
cute.
this is real stuff, you guys. This is happening day in and day out.
Yes.
And you're going to be part of the change just by doing something as simple as clicking a button.
Yeah, that's why we do hashtag be the change.
Be
Yes.
the change.
Don't just be part of it. Be
it.
the change.
Be the change you wish to see.
And it's simple. Just simple stuff.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Well, great show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. And
Yes.
Karen Holcomb Rose, she shared for us. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you very
We
much.
really
That's my
appreciate it.
mom.
Oh, thank you.
That's my mom.
That's awesome.
Thanks,
Holcomb?
Mom. Yes. We've had this conversation. Was this when you were on drugs?
Probably. How long ago was it?
I'm so glad the camera's not on me because I'm kind of like, wow, we went
Holcomb?
there.
Oh, believe me. Yeah.
We've been there.
What have I missed? I may need to review this show on both feeds.
It was a long time ago, you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not recent.
This was the past life. Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
past life.
Shut up. Don't worry.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's not you. The collective
Um,
in my brain. Yes, but anyway, we will be back Tuesday with more show, more hope, more recovery, more information, and we love y'all so much
We
for
love
tuning in.
you.
Like, mwah, 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 mwah.
so much.
So
love.
much. Thank
much.
you.
All right. Bye, you
We'll
guys.
see y'all next
All
time.
right, make sure y'all hit share, you guys. Go like the 032 Recovery page. Go like the Just for Fun page. Go like the Just for Fun gear page so you
Yes.
can have some of the Bopsy twin shirts. We had the, what was the ones from this morning? What was that I shared?
Oh, the Wonder Twins.
The
Wonder
Wonder Twins in
Twins.
purple, and now we got the Bopsy twins, and with the curly
like a
hair and the
melon.
pink
Yep, the
shirt,
curly
pink
hair.
shirts. All right, look, y'all have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
It's 2018, y'all. Don't you know smoking's bad for you? You need to go check out my buddies down there at Raging Vapors. They're located in Loganville and as well as in Grayson. They have a very clean establishment, and trust me, if I'm going to put some of that stuff to my lungs, I think that's the way to go, right? It's 2018. Aren't we smarter? Smoking is not cool anymore, y'all. Raging Vapors is a very nice place. They mix up their own vapes. They are regulated by the government. The place is super clean. Raging Vapors is the place to go. Do it the right way and see the right people. And I believe Raging Vapors are the right people.
Hey everyone, this is Redneck Step. Have you heard about Unique Funding? They're in the business to help people get out of those high interest title ponds. It's sad how many people have been put in this position. I myself have fallen victim to this. If you currently have a title pond and you're not happy with your interest rate, then Unique is who you need. They are paying off high interest rate loans and rewriting theirs at a much lower interest rate. Everyone hates to see someone struggle financially, and losing your car or continue to pay out high interest rate. Unique Funding would like to help coach people financially and help them do better with their money. Once they pay off your loan and are able to rewrite it at a much lower interest rate, your loan will be paid off faster while keeping your payments the same. The staff would like to work with people and listen to their needs. Custom deals can be made to fit almost anyone's pay schedule. Be more than just unique and go see Unique Funding. Let them help you help yourself.